Violence in the media. What is it and how it affects children? When we think of cartoons, we think of children's programming designed to entertain and assist with moral values. But what we rarely ask ourselves is if our children are truly benefiting from television, what is it they're really learning? Social learning theory states that children learn about the world around them by observing and mimicking what they see. Now, given that, you have to understand the fact that children sit and watch many Saturday morning cartoons and animated feature films. Watching these shows and films is not really the issue, but one has to understand that the amount of violence in these cartoons that children are exposed to is on the rise. Studies show that there is approximately 3 to 5 violent acts per hour during primetime television, compared to 20 to 25 violent acts per hour on Saturday morning cartoons. At this rate, the average 13-year-old child will have been exposed to more than 100,000 violent images in its lifetime. These violent images that children are exposed to can lead to problems in life. The problems can be short-lived, or they can last all the way through the child's life. By short-lived, I mean they could have nightmares for a night or two thinking about the images they have seen. Other children may become aggressive if they are continued to be exposed to these images. They may lash out. They may have conflict in the home. They may be antisocial and do poorly in school, and in general have complications later in life with social skills. If you think about it, a large number of Disney's animated feature films deal with a child losing a parent or a child being taken away from a parent. Of course, children are going to think about this, and some may even possibly fear that this could really happen. With all of these possible effects, however, there are things that parents can do to help their child. Here is a classic example of Saturday morning cartoons and the types of images that our children are seeing. In one photo, you've got Wile E. Coyote hanging from a cliff with rocks falling on him. In the other, you've got Fred Flintstone laying there with a boulder on top of him and talking on the phone. In reality, this wouldn't happen. Fred Flintstone would have been killed, unfortunately, and Wile E. Coyote, that never would have happened. His body would have been crushed before it ever made it through the cliff. Unfortunately, children don't understand that all the time. Sometimes it takes the parent's initiative to step in and say, "This is not right." If that had been a real person, there would have been serious consequences. Helping your child can be done in a few simple steps. Limit the amount of television viewing time. By limiting the amount of television viewing time, we are reducing the amount of violent images that a child could be exposed to. Pre-screen television shows and movies or watch them with your child. This will enable you to connect with your child and better understand the images that they may be seeing and possibly not understanding. You're also able to say no to any shows or films that you do not feel your child is capable of understanding. Discuss the images being observed. This will help you know if your child is having difficulties understanding the reality of the violent images. And lastly, communicate. Help your child to understand that these images do have consequences in real life. You can't get hit on the head with a hammer and get right back up. There are real victims. In closing, it is up to the adults in a child's life to ensure that they stand the best possible chance for success later in life. If parents and caregivers just sit back and ignore the facts, we run the risk of our children having lifelong problems. Open the line of communication with your child. Help them to understand the world through something other than television and violence. Then, and only then, can we see a child's true potential in life. Thank you.